Hi, this is Dr. Gordon Flanders. I'd like to welcome you to ABUS 4101, Accounting and Finance for Managers. Just want to give you a little background on myself. Let's just start right out and say that I am not an accountant. I have my a doctorate from the University of Phoenix, and I have my MBA from the Carlson School of Management at the University of Minnesota, and my bachelor's degree from Augsburg College in Minneapolis. My background is I have 20 years at 3M company, and I started out as a technical service engineer, and then I migrated to a technical trainer, to a product manager, to a business development manager, and I finally retired as a global marketing manager. At my time at 3M, I was responsible for over $200 million in sales, and I traveled worldwide. I had primary responsibility for Asia Pacific and Latin America. I started teaching in 1999, and I've been teaching for 17 years. I started at the Carlson School of Management, teaching in the marketing department, and then I continued to teach primarily in the part-time day MBA program. I started teaching online classes way back in 2002 when the College of Continuing Education asked if I would develop a class on new product development, since that was my primary background at 3M. So my background is in marketing and economics. I teach both micro and macro econ. I do dabble in international business. I teach advanced management at the graduate levels. I also teach strat marketing management, market research, consumer behavior, sales and sales management, advertising in the realm of marketing. The reason I was asked to teach this class is that first off, they wanted this course to be revised and set up as a new course. And given my background in business, we deal every single day with decisions that emphasize information that we get from managerial accountants and from our finance people. So what I wanted to do was design this class in order to help you understand the type of information and decisions that managers must make. It's not set up to teach you how to understand necessarily debits and credits and ledgers and the like, but you are going to be asked in your career in order to have conversations with people regarding products, pricing, making sales forecasting, understanding contribution margins. You need to be able to understand how to read income statements and balance sheets and cash flow statements. And so these are all the topics that we're going to emphasize throughout the class. But my goal is not to make you an accountant. My goal is to help make you a decision maker, so that when you are facing business decisions, that you know the types of information and questions to ask, and so that you can gather up this data in order to make a wise decision. So my passion is in critical thinking. In fact, I've created one of the only classes in the country that is on critical thinking, and it's titled Critical Thinking, Decision Making, and the Art of Leadership. And so what critical thinking is about is how do you understand the questions? How do you identify problems that businesses is having? How do you gather information in order to help you make that decision? And of course, these decisions in this class are based on accounting and finance decisions. So as I said, this is a newly revised class, and what I would like you to do is the first thing, get into the class and review the syllabus. And what you'll notice across the top of the dashboard there is that there is a course calendar. So please go ahead, download the course calendar, and note the dates of when all the assignments are going to be due. What I want you to also notice is that there's going to be a common theme throughout the class. Now, as I mentioned, I've taught over 100 online classes, and what I have discovered is that the best classes in an online environment are those that seem to have a repetition to them, that there's a rhythm to the class, and that we know what to expect each and every week. Since there's not going to be the weekly lecture where you're going to sit in the class for 55 minutes and listen to me pontificate, there's going to be more emphasis on yourselves for reading material from the text, from reading articles, from reading case studies by posing to you questions that you are then going to think about, reflect on, and respond, and work with others in the class as well. So what you'll notice is that there's going to be a weekly forum, there will be some weekly homework, there will be a weekly quiz, and then for the midterm there'll be a case study that you'll complete, and then there'll be a final case study which serves as the final exam. Please do look at the course materials. Notice that there's going to be some short videos that'll be actually identified under playlist on the weekly modules. What I've tried to do is to go into YouTube, and I understand that for many of you this might be your first accounting class and the only accounting class that you'll take, and so there may be some topics that are going to be a little hard to understand. And so what I wanted to do is to find some short videos that went further to help explain some of these course topics. You'll also find that in addition to the textbook, there's going to be some various articles that you'll be asked to read, especially for some of the forum questions during the class. And then of course the case studies will also be found in these course materials. The textbook, I've looked at many different books for managerial accounting, and as I've said, I am not an accountant, so I was not looking for a highly technical book, but one that is going to be pretty self-explanatory, written so that I could understand this. And so I didn't want it to be too technical, and I wanted to look for something that's going to offer good examples and to help you understand this material. So as I mentioned, my expectation is that this might be your very first accounting class. So I'm not here to teach you how to be an accountant, but how to analyze the data that's used by managers to make good business decisions. So where do we start? Every week you're going to notice at the top of the module is going to be a weekly overview. This weekly overview will give you a brief synopsis of what to expect for the week, and then please do read the study notes. What I've tried to do is to take that week's topic and write out in a page or two kind of an explanation and elaborate a little more about this concept, and to give you some examples of how this topic relates to some of the activities and decisions that business leaders have to make. So there's going to be a weekly forum, and the weekly forum questions are there to be designed to improve and to apply critical thinking and decision making. For some of the week forums there'll be a video to watch, other forums there may be an article, others there may be something from the textbook that you're going to be asked to review, and for others it just might be as we work through the case studies, especially in weeks 5, 6, and 7, where you can work with your group and discuss the case and the questions that you may have about this. Now, I'm not asking you to go out and write a term paper for these forums. Please note that the activities is to look at these questions, look at the videos, read the articles, and to write about a 100 to 200 word reaction piece to the question that's asked. And I want that initial response due on Wednesday by midnight. Now, the forum that you're posting this to is going to be a small group forum of about 4 students. We had an option that we could post this forum into a large group or to post these into a small group, and I would prefer to put you into a small group to where you can form a more intimate discussion and read 3 other student comments for this topic, rather than being asked you to go ahead and read, say, 8 to 10 to 15 to 20. In fact, there's 35 students in this class, so rather than bombard you with a lot of postings, we're going to put you into a small forum group. So this is to encourage more of a small group discussion. So on Wednesday night, post your response and then go ahead and read the postings of the other group members, and then formulate a response from those comments to your group. And so the follow-up response is going to be due on Fridays at midnight. So again, this is not to the entire class, but to this small group. So what I want you to do is to go on and click on the heading that's called ABUS 4101, and this is to see what group that you happen to be in. You will be rotating group membership during the class. So for the first 4 weeks, you'll be in discussion group 1, and then there'll be another, you'll be uh, kind of merged into some new groups, and you'll have midterm case study groups, and then you'll be resorted into another new group for weeks 8 to 11. So you get to know quite a few of the members of the class by being a participant in a number of different groups. There is going to be some weekly homework. What you will find every module is that there's going to be some homework instructions, and then there's also going to be an Excel spreadsheet that's going to be given to you. All the work is going to be in Google Docs, so there's no need for you to have MS Office. This class is going to rely heavily on doing some Excel work, so if this is something you need a refresher on, there is a brief tutorial in the class if it's needed. All homework is going to be posted by Sunday at midnight. There is going to be also a weekly quiz, and these two are going to be due Sunday at midnight. There was some debate as to whether or not we should give you 30 minutes or 60 minutes to do these quizzes, and I thought 90 minutes is perfectly fine. If you complete the quiz sooner, that's great, but I didn't want to have you feel pressured and be contacting me asking, could I open up the quiz again and extend the time to allow you to finish it. So 90 minutes should be plenty of time for you to finish the weekly quiz. There's also going to be 2 case studies. And what I want you to do is, in the class I have provided some instructions on how to prepare a case study. So please download that and review it. The case studies can be found also in course materials. The submissions that you make must follow the case study format. So if you have any questions on that, we'll discuss this a little more as we get closer to it. The midterm case study, we are going to assign you, as I mentioned earlier, to a small group. And it's a rather short case. I think the case itself is about 5 pages in length. The final case is going to be due in week 7. It is going to be an individual response, but you're going to be free to interact with your fellow group members as you discuss this case amongst yourselves. The questions that you're going to be finding that are provided to you based on the case are not to be directly answered. They're simply there to help provide fodder for your contemplation. The final case study is going to be a little more detailed. It is a much longer case. This is going to be an individual effort. There is going to be quite a bit of Excel work, and this is due in the last week. Don't be scared though. I am providing for you the Excel spreadsheet for both the midterm and the final case. So you'll be seeing that. What you'll have to do is to go through the case study, find the information that you can plug into the Excel spreadsheet, and the formulas that are needed for the spreadsheet are already embedded into the sheet, and so once you populate it with the numbers, you will get information that you can analyze. There's also PowerPoint notes that you will find that have also been posted and added into the course room. So if you want to be able to look at the PowerPoint notes that are provided by the publisher, those are in the course room as well. So let's kind of wrap this up. You know, the rhythm of the class is that it starts on Monday. I want you to read the textbook, read the module overviews and study notes on Monday, Tuesday, post your initial response to the forum questions on Thursday, review your group forum responses on Thursday, respond to your group on Friday, and complete your homework and quizzes on Sundays. If you have any questions, feel free to send them to me at my UMN address. If you wish to call, there is my phone number. And if you also have any other further questions, we also have Google Hangouts available, and so just let me know when you'd like to chat, and I will be available. Okay, so thank you very much. I'll look forward to working with each and every one of you over the next 15 weeks. Thank you.